All right, guys. Wait. Oh, I got caught by surprise. Sorry,
Wait.
guys. I was not paying attention.
Yo.
Hey yo.
All right, guys. Well, welcome to the Unrestrained podcast. So we're on the Unrestrained podcast here on Legsit. I think we're live on Legsit. And where else are we on?
We're
I
on the
mean, not
YouTube.
Legsit. Sorry, we're off Legsit.
Yeah, we're off Lexa. We're on the YouTube, X, and TikTok.
That's correct. And you could go to. Wait, are we live on YouTube too? You said.
Yes,
Oh,
YouTube.
okay. So
So
we're on the
YouTube,
YouTube.
X, and TikTok.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Well, there you go, guys. Yeah, guys. So say hi to the people, Alfred.
Share. Hey, make sure you help us out by sharing, man. We're excited. This is our own. Welcome home, everyone. Welcome home. This is for the first time. If you're looking at us here live, I know some of the folks that were getting the pre-recorded. I know Isaac was like, "Hey, bro, when are you gonna upload the video, bro? People are out in YouTube waiting for us." So here we are. We are live, completely live out of our YouTube channel, X, and TikTok, and you'll find them under Unrestrained Podcast. So if you do the search Unrestrained Podcast on all these platforms, you should be able to hear it. But we have, nonetheless, we do have Pastor Raul Ortiz back with us, man. Give him a share.
Oh, thank you. It's always good to be back with you guys. We have a good time whenever I come around here, so I enjoy it. Thank you.
Is that right? Are you lying, Pastor?
Odd God is truth.
Yeah. So we know it's pretty serious, guys, because Pastor walked in with the MAGA hat today.
He was not kidding, man. He was not kidding.
MAGA ready.
Yeah,
He
so
was
he's
MAGA
ready. Yeah, and then we got Abe over there doing geeky stuff. Yeah, we geeky stuff meaning he's hitting buttons and fixing our microphone and
all kinds
things,
of stuff,
all kinds of
Googling
things.
stuff.
Yeah, guys. So we had said that we were going to go live on Tuesdays, but then Alfred, I talked to Alfred, and we're doing it Mondays now, guys. So sorry about that, but it is on Mondays. We will be going live, but then so yeah, make sure you subscribe and you hit those notification bells, and tell all your friends, guys, so we can grow this channel.
Yep.
Right, because we're trying to qualify to go to the. Did you know about this, Pastor? That I believe if you have 100,000 views, I'm guessing you're gonna have to average 100,000 views. You qualify to apply to go to the White House and participate on the daily briefings.
With
Yes,
Caroline.
With Caroline.
Oh man.
Yeah, so that's the goal, guys. We're trying to get there so that we can one day, you guys maybe will see me or Alfred, or maybe both of us will get to sit in the front row.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine us go?
gosh.
Can you imagine us going in there and just say, "Hey, we do have the new media, right? Remember that section right there that was it Caroline? What was her name now?
Caroline.
Right. She says, "Hey, these two chairs right here, it's only for the new media." Can you imagine
man.
all the wolves in the back and all the fake news just saying like, "What is this new media?" Right? They all just stayed quiet, but it was glorious to see their face because now we're gonna have. I think Breitbart, who was in there? I think it was the Hill was there, and a couple others that pretty much throw them out in the hallways that they're no longer allowed to participate. Well, these guys are coming right in front row, so yeah, we want to be there. So help us out, let us so we can grow this channel. So thank you.
Yeah, guys. So you can be a part of it, guys. You guys can see me, then you can say to yourself, "Man, I helped that guy get there. I was one of the first subscribers, and I watched faithfully." Right. But anyhow, we're gonna get into some things, guys. We're gonna talk mostly a lot about what's going on with Doge, the reaction. The left is going crazy.
Oh man.
Trump's out there working hard, man. Uncovering some pretty gnarly stuff. I'm sure a lot of you guys will heard about this, but we're gonna give our opinion. We're gonna comment on things. We're not news reporters. Which I guess I'm contradicting myself. But if you guys get me there, I will become a news
citizen journalist.
A citizen journalist
Yes.
for the day at the White House. But I don't know, man. I was not gonna watch the Super Bowl, but we received some fake news, and I'm very disappointed because X was out there talking about that Elon had invested, what was it, like $40 million in ads or something,
Mhm.
and I was like, oh yeah. So
Didn't see one, right?
not one.
We were waiting for it too. We're like, wait, what happened?
Yeah, man. I thought that would have been genius idea, but looks like it was a psyop. Uh, I don't know, guys. Disappointing because I think that would have been
Oh yeah.
a great deal, right? Can you imagine having a commercial and they're just going down the list of all the crazy stuff that they've found so far?
Oh my gosh. I mean, the more and more light they put on them, the more crazier they get. It's beautiful to watch.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't do it because the commercial that they ran during what was it, like a playoff game? One of the games that they ran, and that's when they ran the that one commercial about it was what do they call it? They're worried about he, she. What was the commercial, guys?
It wasn't the one from Jesus, the
Yeah,
Jesus.
No,
Jesus
no,
name.
no, 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 not that. It was anti woke, and he said something like they're worried about he, she, and we're worried about you, or something like that.
Oh, got you,
Where they were
Mm.
taught, they exposed the funding. I think it was like funding or something for transgender conversions in the jails. Yeah, that's what it was. It was talking about Kamala Harris's policy in California, where she supported transgender the what do you call it, sex, basically sex changes, right, in the prisons,
Right,
Mhm.
right, right,
where
right.
we're funding for these transgenders to get their surgeries.
Right.
And he ran an ad, they ran an ad, and it had, like, in her own voice, it was a interview that she did, and that was super impactful, to the point where even those morons over there at the Breakfast Club, what's his name, Jermaine the
Jermaine
God,
the God.
yeah, where he saw that and he was just shocked and upset over that because he's so clueless, he didn't even know about that. But it reached the normies, the everyday
Right,
people
right, right.
that spend so much time and
In the Matrix.
energy watching sports, yeah, living in the Matrix.
Mhm.
And when you run a commercial during the Super Bowl, that would have been pretty awesome. But I don't know, they chose not to do that.
Yeah, and in the same I think in the same spectrum, in the same game. I mean, you were able to watch. I'm not sure about you guys, but as I was paying attention, I started looking at all these commercials that so patriotic. Jeep made this great commercial that's family oriented. You know what I mean? Harrison Ford, created. I mean, even that man. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Kendrick Lamar, but to have Samuel Jackson come out here and just really just go full on. This is the guy that hates America, right? And come out and say that he's Uncle Sam, and then you have people on the left saying, "Well, he was jokingly around." At that point, I really didn't care. All I know is that the guy had to dress up and really just, pretty much be patriotic. I felt accomplished because I really felt like for once, these games are watchable. Although, I was a little kind of taken back by the scoreboard here, but to be a lot of the people that I was sitting with, there were everybody was really having a conversation about how great these commercials are starting to change. So I think Trump or the new administration or the tides are turning. I'm seeing it, and even now it's affecting sports. Like NFL, and of course other major sports will lead into this whole movement.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because I did see a headliner this morning talking about, because we were expecting Elon Musk to do some type of commercial, but they gave him, and this headline, it just pretty much gave him like the credit for kind of changing the whole, like the commercials, the whole Super Bowl. It's more like like Trump,
Mm-hmm.
and that their influenced them to kind of get rid of. I guess it changed the whole dynamics because they did have a lot of woke stuff that they want to implement and a lot of commercials that they did not. So
Correct.
but when you look at the one gentleman who's playing the piano, singing the national anthem,
Mhm.
I never heard a rendition like that for one. And when they panned over to Trump, you heard the fans start to scream. Somewhere in the game, they panned over to Taylor Swift, and people just start booing.
Ooh, yeah. I think you're able to see the culture change. I mean, the huge change from somebody. I mean, I, I mean, even in sports, you're starting to see who won. Because you're starting to see the culture, everybody changing. Think about it. I hear everybody in the leftists. I mean, people on X saying, why is Trump attacking Taylor Swift? well, it's not him attacking, it's just him exposing the truth.
Yeah,
She's not very disliked. And again, remember in the beginning in 2020, she was the one who came out and voted for, voted for Joe Biden. And that really impacted for young people, right? And now in 20, and I believe 2020, I think she was reserving herself, even 2024, sorry, she was reserving herself on who she was going to vote till the very end, right? To cause an impact. She was the one who made it political. It wasn't Trump. Trump is just exposing and saying, hey, the one that really suffered this time, not only Chiefs lost, right? But Taylor Swift got booed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're that definitely. Alfred's camera is looking pretty terrible, but
Okay.
I don't know if you noticed that. But sorry about that, guys. Just noticing that we had to improvise today. But anyhow, yes, guys. I don't know. I don't like that Trump even commented on the whole Taylor Swift getting booed. It's I don't know, man. It to me it's like it's funny but unnecessary, and everybody else is it's not like his first term where Trump I could have I understood why he would do these petty things because he was his own advocate, and he was pushing back against an overwhelming machine of media that was totally against him. But that is no longer the case. That is not the case anymore. The woke media or the liberal propaganda machine of CNN and MSNBC, they are no longer relevant. They are not relevant. And the new podcast and streaming platforms are relevant, and we have X where it's free, and he no longer needs to involve himself in these little skirmishes, if you will. So I just think it's just a waste because all you're doing is distracting from important things. I don't know. I'm not. I was okay with it the first term. I am not okay with it the second term, bro. You don't need to tweet about how the fact that they booed uh Taylor Swift. I mean, by the time he even tweeted it, we all knew it. There was thousands of other tweets. So it's like it's somebody, it's just petty stuff. So it's I don't know, man.
But you know
I'm
what?
not a fan of it. It just all it does is those people that just buy into the nonsense, that he is just this you know, uh self-absorbed narcissist. It just reinforces that in their mind. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I don't like that. So it's just not productive. But anyhow, speaking of not productive, yeah, guys. So last week, man, just amazing the reaction from the left and the Democratic Party, guys. They are so upset over Doge and the things that they're finding. And again, it's like we're talking about. It's clear that the American people are with Trump, right? He ran on all of these things. None of this was a secret, okay? It's not like he got into office and all of a sudden Elon Musk jumps in. Like, no, he campaigned on this, okay? Elon Musk and Trump said they were going to go in there and they were going to start auditing and checking the books line by line, right? And that's why the American people, that's what we voted for. That's what we voted for. Am I wrong? I voted for that. Did you vote for that?
I 100%
Right.
did.
Okay. So he's doing exactly what we asked him to do.
Exactly. He got to expose the corruption, because at the end of the day, these NGOs, they've used this for probably over a century, and how these families pass down their wealth untaxed, and then they're able to fund other organizations that are really anti-American, and that's how they've been and launder the money between one another.
Right. So we have Maxine Waters. I'm sure you guys have seen this video, but I wanted to play this video, guys, because are they outraged about what was it? Money going to Chelsea Clinton's wedding and buying her $10 million home? Are they upset about funding millions of dollars going to buy condoms Are they upset about the fact that we're sending money to, was it Guatemala, to do sex transgender like no
a comic book, a transgender comic book to Peru. I think it's like $75,000.
Yeah, that forget it. Maxine Waters, she doesn't care about that. Okay, she doesn't care about that, and none of these Democrats do. But let's play this clip. And Abe, I might actually, so just be ready because I might stop this multiple times or pause. But yeah, let's go ahead and play this clip, guys. And the guy up there is a legend, right? I'm sure you guys have already seen the memes with this guy. He's awesome. Go ahead and hit play.
I'm going to show you right now. After this press conference was held, all of these House Democrats tried to force entry into the Department of Education. A security staffer, one lone guy, standing in the breach at the doors. Take a listen.
We're coming in. We're coming in. Don't lock the door. We're coming in. Who are you?
You're not coming in.
Who are you?
Who under whose
Who are
orders?
you?
Who are you?
Who are you?
Who are you, sir?
Do you have business here?
Yes. I have sent the secretary, I've sent the assistant secretary a letter alerting her that we would be here today, and we've asked her for a meeting.
Yeah, I don't know that that's been accepted, so until that's accepted.
Who are you?
All right, so
That's
I knew.
beautiful.
This is how ridiculous these people are. The man comes out, this guy's a legend, guys. The patience in this man, there's no way I would have had this kind of patience, right? But he asked him, well, what are you guys doing here, right? He's like, well, we sent an email letting him know we were coming, right?
Right.
But so let's just use some common sense, guys. Look at the crowd there, right? Do you guys believe that you can just show up, no matter who you are? You could just show up and walk in through the doors and meet with, who they even wanted to meet? I don't even remember. the what is it? The Department of Education, right?
Right.
Yeah, you could just walk up there and just show up, and they're gonna just stop what they're doing and attend to whatever your oversight supposed responsibilities are.
Yeah, and they're showing up with a mob and they're recording.
Right.
So there's a lot more disruption.
Right.
So
yeah, so these guys, this guy's like, well, yeah, I sent an email, and so the guy, the man there at the door responds and said, well, did you get a response?
yeah,
Right.
until it's accepted.
Right. So the fact that you
have no
sent an
business
email
here.
does not mean that somebody's there and that you have an appointment or something like that.
Exactly. It
Right?
wasn't confirmed. They never confirmed it with you.
Correct.
So you can't just barge in here, say, okay, we sent this email, but hey, was it accepted? Did you get a reply back? No. So, okay, you have no business there.
Exactly. Sent an email, you just leave it. Who does that? Right?
The Democrats.
Right? I mean, even in for me, like, I get a lot of salespeople soliciting, right? I mean, if they were to show up, and some people show up, just to see, and they might just show up and be like, hey, so-and-so dropped by, want to see if you're available, you're not busy. If I have time, yes. Right? But if I were to say, no, man, sorry, I got meetings I got to go into, it's like that person would be like, but I sent an email. I sent, like, no, dude, I didn't know you were coming. And even if you did I reply?
Yeah.
Did I reply and say, yes, I'll be available at this time? No. Anyhow, hit play.
And what do you do here?
What do you do here?
Security responsibility.
Get out of the way. We pay for your job. We pay you.
We're members of
We
Congress.
pay you.
We're not
We're
here
here.
Nobody has
as
accepted a meeting.
members of Congress.
You are.
We
your
haven't heard that from the
children-
secretary.
your
We've heard that from
children
your spokesman.
I'm
are
relaying
paid
that.
Sir,
by-
You are
What's
not
your
the
name?
spokesman for the department. You are a
I'm the-
security guard.
Can you identify
You
yourself?
I
You gotta
already
ensure
did.
We're members of
Where's your
Congress.
badge? Where's your badge?
You
Where's
don't
your
have any
ID?
identification.
Where's your
Ghetto
ID? Where's
people.
your ID?
We are not
It's not good enough.
We are not a threat to security. We're members of Congress, and we want to ask a question.
We walk into the White House without having to go through magnetometers.
Can we get someone?
This is an outrage.
Pause it real
I'd like
quick.
to speak with someone who works here.
So what do you
So this right here, they're claiming is an outrage, Pastor.
I know.
This is an outrage.
Exactly.
Okay. But
Because we're not a threat here. No, you guys are a threat to the entire country.
right.
You guys are treasonous. You guys are sold out. But
Right.
they're doing all this just for the hype because they're on camera.
Right.
And they're just trying to get the attention.
Well,
They
they're
don't care nothing about our kids.
no,
If they did, they wouldn't be killing them in the womb.
right. Yes, they wouldn't be right. They wouldn't be funding sex transition therapies for children.
Exactly.
Right? Like this is what they're outraged about, a man, a federal security with the guy's a federal employee that works security. That it's an outrage that the man is standing in front of the door. And when they asked him under whose authority, I wish he would have said under the authority of the president of the United States, Donald Trump.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
I wish, or the Secretary of Education, right?
Or when
or whoever.
When they said, we pay you, Maxine Waters,
Right.
we pay you.
No, you don't.
It's like, no. I pay you.
Right.
For my tax dollars. I pay you. You work for me. Take a hike.
Exactly right. So exactly right, Pastor, right? So we have these crazy, ridiculous people like Maxine Waters and all these other knuckleheads, right? The only person there, the only government employee, federal employee there that's doing the bid of the people is the man standing at the door.
Yep.
Right, Pastor? The only person of all the federal employees in that scene, the only one actually carrying out the will of the people, right, is the man standing at the door.
That's right.
Right?
The watchman.
The watchman. These other people have been too busy. This is what really happened, Pastor. The reason they're there is because they're getting calls from big pharma, from everybody that's lining their pocket, including them, right? Because they're saying, they're getting phone calls saying, you need to do something about this.
Yeah.
So it's like in the movies, right, Patrick? In the movies, it's like they got the call, like, hey, you
Scarface, remember?
Yes.
He said you need to take care of this guy because he's going to be going on a news station. He's going to expose the whole drug cartel. Right. Remember? And then Al Pacino couldn't kill him because he had a kid. And what happened to Al Pacino? That was toward the end of the movie there. So it's the same thing. They're like, you better take care of this because they're exposing way too much, and American people are waking up to it. What we've been doing for generations, right. And it's being exposed, like the light is being shined on all the cockroaches, and they have to come out, try to divert the attention. And then it's a red herring because they're trying to make it about the children, about the American people, and the people aren't going to be getting any help. And Trump has made his statement over and over again is not going to affect those people, right. that the Americans who need the money and the help, so yeah, it's just a red herring that they're doing, get their attention away from what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly right. Because they're getting calls from their puppet masters, and their puppet masters are like, hey, you need to do, this is hitting my pocketbook, and guess what? It's going to hit your pocketbook, right? So put yourself in these people's shoes. We see it in the movies, guys. This is exactly what you would see in a movie. Mm-hmm. What else can Maxine Waters do? Right? They have no other option but to come out and do this sort of thing, because when they got that phone call, they can't just sit there in their laurels, right? It's the best way I can describe it is like this. I'm in transportation. Okay. I was talking to somebody about this the other day. We move product all over the country. Okay. And sometimes you get a call, right? I had one last week where there's a truck at a certain location and the people there did not want to unload this truck, even though they knew and that it was going to be there, right? And my customer calls me and says, whatever you need to do, make it happen. This needs to get taken care of. What am I going to do? Right? What am I going to do? I'm not there. I'm not the driver. The person that's supposed to unload this equipment does not want to do it. So I got to raise hell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm begging the driver. I'm begging anybody else to help me. I'm trying to sweet talk the people over there. Please help. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a similar, we all can relate, right? We all in some sort of way are business. When the people that feed you or that feed you call and tell you, make it happen or else, even if it's your wife.
Yeah.
What do you do?
You're not going to get the kickbacks we've been giving you under the table all these years.
Right.
So you better start doing something. And the last resort, they may have been threatened.
Exactly.
Like, hey, if you don't do this, we're not going to be paying you either. But yeah, your plane just might crash. You just might be suicided.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows, Pastor? Right? It could be that, but just getting funds cut off is already bad enough.
Yeah.
When we know these guys are getting $150,000, $200,000 salaries and have millions of dollars in assets.
Yeah.
and are worth millions of dollars. How does that happen?
Exactly.
We know how it happens now because it's being exposed.
Mhm.
Go ahead and play. Sorry.
You gotta do, you gotta beat us up if we go in.
I mean, you're gonna,
We want you
steamroll me
to
here?
move
What
out
are
of
you
the
gonna
way.
do? No.
Steamrolling you. We're
Get out of the way.
This is all access
sure
entrance.
that we can't
Stand
run.
aside, sir.
We're
This
members
is
of
all
Congress.
access
Step
entrance.
aside.
Please stand aside, sir.
I'm not standing aside.
Why not?
Because my role is to make sure that.
What authority do you have to
We are
block
members
members of
of
Congress from the
Congress.
oversight?
Let him
We
finish
all have
his
oversight
sentence.
responsibilities.
Entrance.
What?
Let him
By what
finish his
authority
sentence.
can you deny
This
members
is
of
The
Congress
authority
their
of the
oversight
federal
role?
government.
You don't have a business reason to be here.
You do not have authority, sir.
Let
You
him
do not
finish-
have
let him
authority.
finish his sentence.
Access entrance.
There is no authority for you to deny members of Congress their oversight responsibility.
Yes.
You have an appointment and you're on a guest list, we will let you in.
So can I ask you a question? You have to be on a guest list. Is what
So this guy's saying you have no authority to block members of Congress from carrying out their oversight authority. What have they been doing all these years? If you were actually carrying out your oversight authority, we would not be having millions of dollars being found by Doge and Elon Musk for all this ridiculous stuff. Because notice they're not denying it ain't true.
Yeah, I know. They're just diverting your attention. They're
Right.
just diverting your attention from other red herrings. And what he could have shot back is like, when he's saying that, members of Congress, yeah, you work for me. We, the people, are in charge of you. You represent us. That's the authority. I have the authority because I'm part of we, the people. You are our servants, our public servants. So yeah, we're the way the founding fathers set up the Constitution, it literally flipped it to where we are the kings and queens of our nation, and we have to remember that and remind them what their true place is.
Yep. Hit play.
what you're saying.
Or
that
you have to have an escort.
Let me ask you a question. Can I ask my question? Are you telling me today that you have to be on a guest list in order to come to the Department of Education?
Either we are informed in advance if somebody's coming, or
they know
escorted. You were informed in advance. 94 members of Congress.
take you where you're going.
Sir, 94 members of Congress signed a letter asking the
So what?
secretary for a meeting
It'll read
and
them.
to answer a simple question. And she's
I'm
apparently
not aware of the meeting.
All right.
So you have to be on
So
a guest
94
list.
members of Congress signed. So what? So all 94 can just show up
Yeah.
and
Hey,
anytime they want.
what was the date on this one? They're causing an insurrection there at the
Yeah, right at the Department of Education, right?
Yeah, they're all like getting ready to storm the poor guy.
Yeah.
The funny thing about this whole thing is that there's processes, right? There's always, I mean, when you start paying close attention, is that there's always processes. The man stood his ground and said, listen, when you come, anybody that comes into our, the School of Education or whatever, Department of Education, you must follow the following steps, right? These guys are not hearing the guy. The guy says, listen, I have not received any kind of information that you guys are going to be here. So therefore, I cannot allow you to come in. It doesn't matter. I mean, think about it. How many times do we see members of Congress going to the school of the school board of education? Never. This is the only reason why. It's like you guys mentioning, as you guys were talking, the only reason why they're there is because they got donors, they got people invested in this, they got people that the unions that are that are going to lose out on a lot of money if this huge audit comes into play.
Yep.
So that's the only reason why these people are there. They're only there because they already know that they've been caught with with their hands in the cookie jar, and the American people are fed up. And like you mentioned, the only guy doing this job is this guy. He should be commended, right? He should be commended.
Yeah. So the Times of Israel, you guys can put it up there if you want, but the Times of Israel reports that Trump's suspension of USAID has already caused loss of 35,000 jobs in Jordan. Okay.
Wow.
So 35,000 jobs in Jordan. So what are these jobs? I mean, look, it says here, looks like the lack of funding is affecting projects covering physical and mental health, disabilities, refugees, sexual and reproductive health services. I wonder what those sexual and reproductive health services are. Could it be sex changes and abortions?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
gender-based
Population
violence
control.
protection and rehabilitation services? That's the national. That's what they're reporting, right? It goes beyond the numbers. It's a triple effect on the whole economy, is what this organization is saying. So this is a nonprofit, right? That's complaining. So I guess I should have read the first part because it says one of Jordan's larger nonprofits. This is who's complaining about this. Is quoted in the Emirati report. I don't know am I saying that right? It's saying that more than half of its budget comes from the U.S. source, and the aid suspension has affected operations tremendously. So, go ahead, Pastor.
Go ahead, Pastor.
No. That was you. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say the title itself, it says quote unquote Jordan. Okay, so that right there should lead you to say what is happening. This has nothing to do with the U.S. Good. You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with anybody in here. It has to do with the U.S. It has to do with Jordan. So I'm glad. I am glad that this is happening. I am glad that somebody's coming in and holding these people accountable. It's enough. We don't even know, as taxpayers, know that this is where the money's going. This is them saying, it's kind of like Hamas counting the amount of deaths that are happening in the Palestinian war, right? It's them counting them. It's not even Israel or anybody else. It's them telling you what's going on. And these are people known to be crooked at times. I'm talking about nonprofits. Come on, think about it. Red Cross, come on.
Yep.
Other than Samaritan's Purse, I don't trust any other nonprofits with my pocket.
Yeah. So this is not what. So Maxine Waters and that crew, this doesn't bother them, guys. And let's just concede. Let's just assume, right, that these are, what would you say, righteous endeavors. Okay, guys, we're in debt. We are trillions of dollars in debt. Even if these were good, I don't care if it was going to starving children in Jordan. I'd first ask, why is there starving children in Jordan? Isn't Jordan a pretty wealthy country?
They got a lot of oil over there.
They got a lot of oil over there, right? So why is Jordan not funding these sex changes and abortions if that's what they want to do?
Right, exactly. And most Muslim nations aren't even for that stuff.
Good point, Pastor.
We hear these things, and where the money, they got the paper trail, right? But is that paper trail actually authentic? Like, is it really genuine, telling the story where that money is really going?
Right? Is it really going to help
keep these
jobs? Keep these jobs. Or maybe the jobs exist.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they do. I don't know. Maybe there was 35,000 people that are being paid. And the fact that it's having such an impact in the economy of Jordan, why are we American citizens borrowing money, putting ourselves into debt to not only be charitable, but propped up economies?
Yeah. Why don't we take that money now and give it and put it in the pockets of those who lost their homes in the fires? Yeah. Also, those that lost their homes in North Carolina, those who lost their homes in Maui. Let's give them that money so they can hit a reset and start rebuilding their own plot of land without all this, red tape from the state governments.
Yeah, which here in California, go ahead, Miss Pastor. You were sharing. You guys were working at the stadium at the Rose Bowl, right?
Rose Bowl, yes, yeah. So we my team and I, two people from my team, we went that Thursday night, 2 days after the fires, to Rose Bowl, and we actually went there to originally feed the first responders, but they had so much donations they couldn't really take any more. But the deputy said, well, right across over there in the overflow parking lot, those were the victims. So we went over there and we fed 300 victims. We went back on Friday, fed another 300. We went on Saturday night and fed another 300. And so we've been, raising money, getting donations, getting food. I was able to reach out to another pastor friend of mine from Downey, and he has a food ministry. So he sent us 8 pallets. We had cut 2 pallets of food, a pallet of supplies and diapers, and then sparkling water. So so I've been working through the American Legion there in Norwalk. The commander there, one of my buddies, Angela, he's on our Assembly District 64 Republican Party Central Committee. So he's one of the members in our Central Committee. So we've been doing these efforts, and it's just so sad that these people lost everything, and here we are sending all this money. And we have the victims of Maui, we have the victims of North Carolina, all these other natural disasters. But why did they only get $700, $700 or $750? That was it. For what? Those just, and yet we're spending all this millions and billions of dollars, really, when you add it all up, all over the world, supposedly to help other countries, but we're not even helping our own people in our own backyard.
But they say that it causes a vacuum. They're saying that this could potentially cause a vacuum where destabilizing all these countries. We're destabilizing, but not giving them our money. I mean, come on.
But there was an Army document back in the mid to late 90s that came out, and it was about the destabilization of the 7 Arab nations. One of them was also included was North Korea. So but they needed a pretext to go into these countries to start destabilizing them. Well, that pretext came on 9/11, 2001. And from that moment, we start going into those nations that did not have a fractional banking system, which is the Rothschilds banking system. And that's when you saw we overthrew Egypt, put our puppet in there, Yemen, same thing, but then there's a few holdouts like Syria, Iran, Iraq, but then we got our puppet in Iraq. So we have these things going on. So so when they're talking about, so it's really double speak when they're saying this is going to cause destabilization in the Middle East. You guys have been doing that for a couple of decades now.
Yeah.
True. Exactly what happened with Afghanistan. Think about it. We were the ones who destabilized that country, trying to put our democracy, our way of living into it. Come on now. I mean, didn't we just seen, when Biden just made a horrible pullout of everybody, they were closing storefronts because we wanted to make it like Hollywood style over there in Afghanistan. Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on, bring in our way of living. You think these people really care about gender and all this nonsense that the Democrats are trying to push out there? Heck no. They want to be able to live. They want to be able to survive. But this is what their democracy is for.
Pastor, you brought up a good point, because do we believe that Jordan they're a Muslim country? So, right? See, we're meddling in other countries' business.
And their religion.
Their religion.
Their way of practicing their.
But the reality is, Pastor, is that this money it wasn't going to those programs. No. It's all money laundering, it comes back into their pockets and the pockets of their puppet masters. That's the phone calls they're getting that's causing Maxine Waters to get all riled up, and Bernie Sanders, right, and Pocahontas, right, are getting just hammered by the puppet masters. You guys need to do something about this, right? But going back to your point, here's the next story here. We got if you want to put it up over there, Abe, it looks like the Daily Mail, right? The headline reads, Doge's next target revealed after 59 million spent to build illegal migrants. To put illegal migrants in luxury hotels, right? So we spent $59 million. So Musk said his Doge team found out on Monday that the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, spent payments of $59 million last week to luxury hotels in New York City to house illegal immigrants, right? So this article was put out today, Monday, the 10th of 2025. Okay. So last week after the freeze, so this is, I think I don't know if you read something, Alfred. I think you had mentioned that they must have disobeyed an executive order, right? Because there was a freeze on all federal, well, not all, but most federal spending. There were some exceptions, right, made, and I doubt this was one of them, right? But where is this money really going, right? So let's just keep reading this article. Musk is now demanding that the agency, which falls under the Department of Homeland Security, take actions to get the money back. Heck yeah. Sending this money here we go. I should have kept reading. Sending this money violated the law and is a gross insubordination of the president's executive order, Musk wrote on X platform on Monday. He added that the money is meant for American disaster relief and instead is being spent on higher end hotels for illegals, right? Yeah, guys, high end hotels. The federal government under former President Joe Biden faced a backlash for housing migrants in hotels rather than spending the money on arrest and deportation efforts. So yeah, I won't read the whole article, but yeah, remember that the man standing, the only federal employee there doing his job, was blocking them from walking in. That is an outrage. But this is an outrage.
Yeah.
This is an outrage, guy, right? They tell you that there's no this is what's ridiculous. The narrative is that there's lack in transparency, right? That Elon and his 19-year-old big balls, right, are going in there and no transparency, supposedly, right? Looking that they have access, and there's a judge, I guess, which I'm hoping we find out who this judge is, and they get dumped in jail too. I don't care. I'm all when it comes to this stuff. It's hard for me not to, Trump, just screw it, man.
Yeah,
just
lay the hammer down on all of them.
I don't care what the Constitution says. Just put them in jail anyways, and let them figure out how to get themselves out.
Let's do what they did to the J6ers.
Yeah, it's so tempting.
They didn't have no constitutional rights.
Right.
There was voided because of Homeland Security. When they deem you as a domestic terrorist, then you're no longer under the jurisdiction of the Constitution. So they threw them in jail. So let's do the same thing with them. With all, and that would be legitimate because they are treasonous.
Yes. And so what I was getting at is that that they're making this claim that there is personal information that they have access to, okay, as if there's like everybody's social security number and addresses and names. So let's just use some logic here, guys. Let's think this through. Elon Musk owns X, okay, which has a lot of data.
Yeah,
he already has. He can use X to get a lot of information on all of us, okay, that are on X. So he doesn't need to go. What? Okay, so what would be his incentive to get access to my social security number and your social? What do you think he needs the money to sell this in the black market? Like, what is he gonna do with this information?
Right.
He's already the richest man in the world. He doesn't need to commit identity theft, right? to be able to make a living.
Well, not only that, like that's almost like another red herring. They're trying to take what they're doing and distract you when the bottom line is the government had the biggest thieves, the government, they have all our information.
Mhm.
It was, what about Edward Snowden? He talked about how they're spying us, and they have this stuff.
Right. They were worried about that, right?
Yeah, exactly. So they can do it, but Elon can't.
Right. All of a sudden they're concerned about your personal information, guys.
Exactly.
But yet Edward Snowden is a criminal for exposing the fact that the federal government has your information.
Exactly.
Is gathering your data.
And spying on you.
It's spying on us, right? But if you ask them, he's a traitor, right?
Yeah,
He's a criminal. He's treason and he's evil.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden now, they're concerned with Elon Musk and
having that
and big balls being able to see your data. But again, guys,
he's an unelected. They're saying that he's an unelected official. That's what they're saying. This is what they're saying. That he's not an elected official to do these things, and that's why they're screaming. But at the end of the day, they want you to forget. Hey, they don't want. Hey, don't worry. Your personal, your personal stuff has been saved with us. Although we've already ravaged everything that we could off of you.
Well,
right?
look what the elected have done. They're screaming about him being unelected. Well, let's look at what the elected have done. They screwed each and every one of us.
Right.
And none of them want to stand up against the Federal Reserve or anything like that. And they continue to launder their money and get kickbacks.
Well, even so, again, the stupidity of Democrats, right? They're upset about an unelected official standing at a front door, but they have no problem with unelected officials sending $59 million to Jordan to fund who God knows what.
Exactly.
These are unelected officials that are doing that. We didn't vote for these people, and we did not vote for those funds to go there, right? Yeah, exactly. But no, guys. Forget about that. The real problem is this guy is standing in front of it at the door. That's what really should be worried about.
Yeah.
Oh, the real problem is that Elon Musk, who is a federal employee not getting paid, right? But through carrying out the direction of the president of the United States,
Yeah, he's appointed by
at the direction, right?
Yeah.
Of the president who was elected by the people, majority vote, popular vote, electoral vote, right?
Mm-hmm.
And is currently polling at record high. What is it?
53%, I think.
53% of U.S. adults approve Trump's overall job in the office so far. So 53% of America has.
Yeah.
It's only 19 days.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the amazing thing. He's moving at lightning speed.
Right?
Yes. And so what I wanted to kind of finalize the point I've been trying to make the long way is that the real so whose information are they really concerned? Whose personal information are they really worried about him getting? Right?
They're puppet masters.
They're puppet masters. Yep. And where that money's going, what bank accounts is it going into?
Mm-hmm.
And where's that? Who? Oh, wait, it's going from here to here to the Save the Children and Feed the Children Fund in Africa, who happens to write millions of dollar checks to, let's say, maybe the Clinton Foundation, right? Oh, the Clinton Foundation, actually, I was hypothetical, but that actually is true.
Yeah.
They already found money going to the Clinton Foundation, and we paid for Chelsea Clinton's wedding and her, was it a $10 million house?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Outrageous.
So no, but that's not the problem, guys. See, it's the problem is there's no transparency. We know who? If there were no transparency, we know who's the one out there. We know the fact that we know that 19-year-old Big Balls is looking at your stuff is transparency. The fact that you know who it is and his age, right?
And even if they knew, I mean, think about it, man.
That's transparency.
They've been on a rampage. They've been on a rampage for this guy, right? I mean, think about it. There's 5. They captured 5 young people in there. All of them, they wanted to find out where they live to be exposed, right? Didn't we see this a couple of days ago? That these, some of these organizations, some of these left-leaning organizations are out there throwing their name, getting dogs, getting their information out there. Just because why? They're trying to provide some kind of balance to the, trying to expose certain things that are happening with our money. And these people are upset.
Yeah.
God, the left has really lost it. I'm telling you, they've gone off the wheels.
Yeah, it's almost that's all they have right now, to scream loud, to divert your attention, and hopefully, because when it comes to lying, they understand the law of the lie is that someone will believe it. And the bigger the lie, the more apt people are going to believe it. So they just got to keep screaming from the mountaintops to try to get your attention away from what's going on in that press conference, because, they got their narrative that they're trying to push. But then, Caroline gets up there and she lists all the, the places and the money that's going to all these different places around the world that are just, it's a waste. Yeah. Why are they going, like I said earlier, $75,000 it was to a transgender comic book in Peru. Yeah. It's crazy.
$230,000 for sushi. Yeah. Let that sink in for you.
Yeah.
So let's personalize this, Pastor Ro. If I called you Pastor Ro and said, "Hey, Pastor, I just noticed I got access to your bank account, and I noticed that somebody just defrauded and pulled out, $10,000 out of your bank account, right? And it went to some entity in China. What would be your main worry? The fact that I got into your account, or how mad would you be at me? How mad would you be at me? Why can't I speak? How mad would you be at me for somehow being able to have access to that information, right? Versus the fact that I just let you know that somebody's just took $10,000 out of your account.
I hired you to be my accountant to look for that stuff. I'll be thanking you.
But let's just say you did it. But let's just say you did it.
If you got in my account, how did you get in my account?
That would be your reaction. I mean, if you called me, and I would be like, damn, how did you get into my account?
Yeah.
But more importantly, thank you for finding that fact because I didn't. How the hell is this happening?
Yeah.
That would be my first.
Less.
That'd be my first. My next thing would be like,
how
crap,
did you know that?
How 10? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and then I'd worry about how you got into my account. The point being here that they want you to focus on the least important part of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Is even if the process wasn't legitimate, which it is legitimate, but let's just say it wasn't. Does that really matter right now? Right? Does it really matter right now? So, but no, it matters. And again, you know what the other thing too, Pat, like you were saying, Pastor, is like it's a lying thing. That how they just lie and this is what they do. What it is that because again, guys, if the Democratic Party was about serving the American people, they would have looked back and took this loss as a learning opportunity to say, how can we better serve the American people? Obviously, we are not in touch, right? Obviously, transgender woke policies, we're totally off on this, right? Inflation, we're totally off on this, right? We are definitely, we need to revisit. We probably need to get some new blood in here, guys. We got to stop, right? But the fact that they have not done that, it's because it's not about serving the American people. It's because they've been making themselves very wealthy all this time, and they've been able to put themselves in a position where they can make $150,000 salary, but somehow be worth millions of dollars.
Exactly.
Right. Mm-hmm. So this is why they have no other choice now.
Yeah, they're straight up Marxists. They don't care about us. Matter of fact, they hate us. And like I've said before in the show, they refer to us as useless eaters,
right?
And they prey on the Americans' ignorance. And right now they're screaming so loud because they're realizing the American people aren't that dumb anymore. The American people are waking up. What they thought was their stronghold to pigeonhole them down further. They're waking up, and so they're in panic mode right now. So as the coming days, we're just they're not backing down. They're actually doubling down. And again, because they got to protect their way of life.
Yeah. So on X, I saw right here, this guy, that Wall Street Apes Pastor. So I'm going to trigger Pastor O right now, cause he's going to love this one. Elon Musk supports Ron Paul leading an audit on Federal Reserve. Right. So let's play this clip right here, guys, because listen carefully to Jerome Powell, right? He's the chair of the Federal Reserve, right? Openly admitting, okay, that they are flooding our system with money that they just create from thin air, right? So let's hear this out.
Simply flooded the system with money.
Yes, we did. That's another way to think about it. We did.
Where does it come from? Do you just print it?
We print it digitally. So we as a central bank, we have the ability to create money digitally, and we do that by buying treasury bills or bonds or other government guaranteed securities, and that actually increases the money supply. We also print actual currency, and we distribute that through the Federal Reserve.
Yep.
Wow.
I'll let you go first, Pastor, because I know this is am I wrong? I mean, this is kind of
yeah. So well, you heard about the one lady who's running one of the Federal Reserve banks, I think it's in New York, where President Trump fired her. And then but then she's like, I'm not gonna obey that. She went to work anyways, but they blocked her out as well. So this is a real good step in the right direction, because one of my litmus tests, back in the late 80s and 90s is that, for a politician, what do they want to do with the Federal Reserve Bank? Because if they're not going to do anything to try to abolish this thing, this beast is just going to continue to enslave every American and their posterity for future generations to come. And the only way they've existed is that, that our government keeps on renewing their charter. And again, you go back into the history of the Federal Reserve Bank back in 1913 in December when they passed it. That was one of the things that Woodrow Wilson had to kind of like, the bankers that was when they first rigged the election. The bankers got behind Woodrow Wilson, spent millions of dollars they outspent his opponent. That's how they rigged it back then. and got him in the office, and then he had to pay it back by signing the Federal Reserve Act, and that created that banking system that is not federal, doesn't have any reserves, and and it's a family, a cartel of families who own the Federal Reserve Bank and who also own pretty much every nation's central bank. So they create the money, and as they create this money, then you and I and every American are the sureties of that loan. And so on every dollar, we're paying about 6% interest. That's why the national debt would never be paid off so long as we're in this fractional banking. Because when it comes to fractional banking, for every $1 you and I put in the bank can loan $10 out of nothing.
Right.
And so Ron Paul was one of the ones I really got behind, because he at least understood this and challenged his colleagues when he was in Congress, and wanted to audit the Federal Reserve, but no one else has the courage to do that very thing. So now we see, as Trump, starting the External Revenue Service, and not going to have taxes for tips. These are just stepping stones to get to the head of the snake. And probably, hopefully, he's successful and can abolish the Federal Reserve Bank, thus abolishing their IRS. And no longer we need to pay federal income taxes. Our federal income taxes go straight into paying the interest of that loan to the Federal Reserve Bank.
Yeah, so this is going to be fantastic, and hopefully Ron Paul, he's going to get the call, and I'm sure that he's nipping at the bit, licking his chops right now to get in there. And the thing is that it makes you think about our money and the fact that, as he said, it's just numbers, right? Like it's just like when you send money from, I don't know, you pay your bill. It's just numbers changing on the screen. Like money really isn't exchanging. Like cash isn't moving from one account to the next, right? Like when we get paid, when anybody pays you, it's just changing the numbers on your balance.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
There's no actual transaction of cash anymore. It's becoming more and more of a cashless society.
Right.
Those we're not there just yet, but we're more than probably like 3/4, if not more, there. But yeah, that's
So all they're doing is just increasing, adding numbers, right? Am I wrong by when they talk about they digitally print currency? I mean, are you?
It's backed by nothing.
So there's no actual cash to back that up, or even gold. Or gold. It's just you're just changing a number.
Yeah, and Alan Greenspan, but when he was the chair at one point, they asked him these questions about the relationship between the Federal Reserve, between the federal government and the Federal Reserve Bank, and he says there's no relation. So he was pretty much just stating that we're a separate entity, and the federal government cannot tell us what to do, but we can not renew their charter and do away with them.
Says who, right?
Yeah. The last person that did that was Kennedy,
and he's dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so we'll see, man. Trump's getting into some I mean, he's already been in dangerous territory.
I know.
You know what I mean? Any one of these institutions you get killed for.
I know. I really got to hold him up and cover him in prayer, because he's just going to town on the New Order and the globalists and just really attacking them. And he's literally taking them down. They're really in panic mode and retreat. But when you got rats that are backed up in a corner, they're going to jump and leap at you.
Yeah, and even Elon, man. I mean, are we paying for Elon's security? Or is he paying for his own? Even think about that. The man's not getting paid to do this, right?
Neither is Trump.
And neither is Trump, right? Yeah, that's right. Trump's not taking a paycheck. Elon's not taking a paycheck, right? But if you want to put up the next post here on Doge, right? Keeping in mind that Elon's not getting a paycheck, guys, and they're Doge high tech sleep pods to fuel 24/7 efficiency drive, right? So these guys are running 24/7, guys. So says eight sleeps AI. I gotta find these things. I wonder. Try googling it. Another one. Abe. Let's research these AI powered pods. Looks like they arrived at the Doge headquarters. This is supposed to enable the team to optimize rest while working around the clock. Right.
Wow.
Let's see if we can find a website for these pods. What it says the 1.94 trillion in federal waste won't cut itself, right? So the smart beds use machine learning to track vital signs and automatically adjust temperature for each sleep stage, achieving 78% accuracy compared to the medical grade EEG. Perfect for power naps between budget cuts.
Wow.
So yeah, did you find anything? I'm curious about these sleep pods, but you know, um, it's been legend tells that Elon, when he was building Tesla and even X and some of its other companies, would sleep in his office, and he wouldn't leave. There was and I'm sure it was a photo shoot, but there was a picture of X of him in a sleeping bag. Um, what is it? What do we got there? Starting at 2,295 for the base model. Who's paying for these? Pod 3, the most expensive version, is the 4,599 pod 4 Ultra, which includes the likes of custom elevation and snoring mitigation. Cheering Doge's new arrival, XCO Linda Yacarino said, "This is epic. So we guess she wants one and her own wants one of her own unless she's already got one. Maybe we can we YouTube to see what these or yeah, I want to see what these things look like. I mean, we just see pictures with the boxes.
So while he's looking for that, it makes me think back when Ronald Reagan first went in office and tried to do something similar like this. And he had the gentleman's name was his last name was Grace. I forget what his first name was, but it's called the Grace Report. And his whole function was kind of what Doge is doing, was to find the government waste, and that's when he discovered how the our federal income tax, 100% of it gets swallowed up into the interest of the national debt, to the Federal Reserve Bank. So it doesn't go to anywhere else, doesn't go to the military, doesn't go to any of that stuff. It just goes right straight to pay down the national debt, which is never meant to be paid down. But what Trump's doing, I think, probably learning from that mistake, because after when Reagan did that, that's when they attempted to assassinate him. But now, the transparency that he's doing, especially in that briefing room with Caroline, they're really just telling the American people what they're doing, keep them informed and being transparent, and exposing these people where Reagan really, not very many people even know the Grace Report anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and put that up. That looks like the website, right, Abe? Yeah, that's the website. So let's check these things out, guys. So these are the pods. I don't know. I was expecting yeah, I was thinking it was like a tent or something, or some sort of like
the sleeping beds.
So it's really like a bed, a mattress. So these must be what do you got there?
Maybe there's something different.
Yeah, but it's a mattress. Is it a mattress? It looks like it's a mattress. I'm gonna guess it's like those mattresses that come, because if you look at the pictures, they're boxes. So it's just a mattress then, right? Is what they're calling the pod. Yeah, so it's a mattress, it looks like, and it must be one of those kind of like a memory foam type that you can, like put in a box.
So they're saying that they have these pods there so people could sleep there.
Yeah, so they must just be throwing these things on the floor. Right? So anyhow, so there you go.
I thought it was something like that was helping them figure out where the spending's going.
Well, that's I mean, it's what she's where do you put each it says for each sleep stage achieving 70% accuracy compared to the medical grade EEG. So I guess it tracks their sleeping patterns. Oh wait, what does it say up there? It says detects if you snore and stops it. How does it stop you from snoring? Does it just wake you up? It probably like raises you. So it's not just the man. This sounds expensive.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be cutting spending, not.
Yeah.
That's okay. They've saved enough. They deserve. Well, this sounds more like an investment then, right?
Yeah,
Pastor Raul?
I
Is
think
these guys of
28.98.
yeah, so 2,800. You know what? Money well spent for big balls.
But there's only 5 of them, right? I think that right now they're currently a staff of 5.
Oh, so we
Really?
got 5 of these.
Yeah, well, they got 5. I think right now they currently have under Doge. I believe there's only 5 people that are currently employed under Elon Musk.
Yeah.
So I could it change?
And they're finding all this stuff with just 5 people.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, they said that currently the 5 people that they got, they're geniuses. They're like 19, 20 years old, and they're kind of like some of them will have won like in these great awards for doing outrageous things, meaning like doing investigative work.
Wow.
So, okay, so this is what I wanted to get to also, guys. This is what's so ridiculous about the media. They're making this big deal about some 19-year-old kid, right? Which I normally would agree. I can agree that that's just a little weird. But again, guys, all you're doing is going through paperwork and doing numbers, right? Or looking for line items. Not anybody could. I mean, many companies hire people right out of high school to work in accounting.
Yeah.
Right?
Returns.
Right? Just go in there and you're just looking at invoices and you're looking at statements. That's what what they're doing. They're looking at statements, reading through. So a couple of points here. It just goes to show how obvious the fraud is that even a 19-year-old can look at a line item and be like, this is terrible, right? You don't have to be you don't have to be that old to look at something and say, wait, 50 million for condoms? What?
To Africa?
Right, exactly. In Africa, well, one of the guys, and sorry to interrupt, but one of the guys that was actually CNN was doing a quick evaluation on him, and the stuff that they were able to gather from him was that this kid started at 16. He already owned his business, so he had a business at 16, and now at 19, he's head spearing this kind of investigative work with Elon Musk. And so, I mean, come on, guys. I mean, like Isaac said, I mean, does it take a genius? I mean, in this case, look, we have been put on we've been in the dark that we could have investigated this for years.
Yeah.
And you got these two, these kids that are just fresh out of college, doing all of this investigative work and coming up with, hey, are you guys okay with $72,000 for an Oprah and a gay Oprah out in Belize? Like what the?
Yeah, and another I forget how many millions for Sesame Street to be some other South American country.
Yeah.
So again, guys, it's even a 16-year-old could look at a statement and say, if you took your 15-year-old kid and you said, okay, I want you to go through all this paperwork, okay, and all you have to do is give him a short explanation. I need you to go through this paperwork, and this is money the tax money goes to from the U.S. government. If you see anything strange that doesn't make sense, just let me know, right?
Yeah.
Let me know. I think even a 16-year-old would look at like, okay, X amount of dollars going to police salaries. Okay, that makes sense. X amount of dollars to go to buy equipment for the military. Okay, that looks fine. X amount of dollars to go to, I don't know, creating a new street in Chicago, Illinois. Okay, that looks normal. Nothing unusual here, right? $50 million to buy condoms and pay for sex changes in Uganda.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Maybe I need let me highlight this one.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let me highlight this one.
Out of the norm.
Right? Okay, keep going. Okay, X amount of dollars. You guys get the point.
Yeah.
Does it really take a genius? And not to mention that Elon Musk, obviously the guy knows how to so being a business owner, an entrepreneur, you rely on people.
Yeah.
And your success depends on your choice of people. Okay. And so here you have the person who has made the best electric car that you see all over the road, right? He didn't build it himself, right? He made great decisions, got a great group of people, and they made an excellent vehicle that a lot of people want to buy, right? And latest venture, the man is landing rockets in a freaking platform, like a historical achievement, right? I mean, is it safe to say that the man makes good decisions and knows who to put to do certain jobs?
He knows how to identify.
Right? I mean, if he was able to find a group of people that can get a rocket to go up into the sky, come back and land exactly where you want it, I think he can figure out, get the right people to just go through statements.
Yeah. And if they're that genius too, then they can really do it really quicker than probably the average person.
Right.
See it and identify it really fast. So
right. So
and they're trying to make it sound like, Elon Musk has he's never done this before, right? But in fact, come on, he cut the whole labor force of Twitter, right? And he approximately just have he cut them down from 8,000 employees to 1,200 employees, and it's still making profit. And the guy doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, he don't know what he's doing.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
So when you surround the facts and you start looking over the facts, you start evaluating really realistically. Somebody hasn't known what they've been doing for the last 10 or 15 years with our money.
Yeah, guys. So yeah, moving on to the next story here. Looks like CBS News. Okay, Trump ousts director of Office of Government Ethics. Right, and I was looking at this because I just went on this whole rant not too long ago, because when you watch the hearings of when they're talking, when they're questioning Cash, and you watch the hearings of RFK Jr. And Tulsi Gabbard, right? Which is great news, guys. Sounds like she's gonna go through. Awesome. When you listen to these people blatantly lie, right? And you just take one example of just a obvious lie. Which one was it? Was it one of the hearings? They were making the claim that this is when they freeze the funding, and then it came out the next day that I think it was Medi-Cal or Medicare, the website went down. Right, one of those agencies, the website went down, but it had nothing to do with cuts. It was just like a coincidence that it went down. They got it right back up. Okay, they got it right back up, and during the hearing, they kept bringing it up, and they kept saying that look at what these freezes are doing. The website is down. The website is current, like as if it was down, like literally still down, even though it was already reported, it was already on the news that it was temporarily down, and it was right back up, right? So when you listen to things like that, it's so obvious they are lying.
Yeah,
they are lying. They are flat out lying. It boils my blood when they're saying lies and they can just do that.
Yeah, they don't get punished for perjury. I mean,
right.
They should be held to the same standard they're holding the other person that they're questioning. That they need to be telling the truth from up there as well. I'm right there with you too, because as I'm watching these hearings, I'm getting really ticked off because they're obviously lying,
right?
And they're spreading the same narrative, especially like the whole J6 narrative. When they're questioning what's the name, Patel. And it's like, dude, just come out and tell them,
right?
Hey, and no one, when they start talking about J6, no one ever defends it properly. It's like, those people that fomented the crowd and went in there were Antifa. They dressed up with Trump outfits, and that's well documented. There's I think the 4 or 5 bus drivers signed sworn affidavits that they dropped off.
They dropped them off. Yes,
and they identified them because the leader stood up in front of the bus before they got there and instructed how everyone put on your Trump hats and your Trump shirts.
Yes.
And here's what we're going to do. We're going to go over here, and so we have these sworn affidavits. Why doesn't any of them come out and talk about that?
How can you say? I'm glad you brought that up, Pastor Ro, because that's the other one that just drives me nuts, right? When they say that officers died that day.
No one died.
No
The officer.
The only person that died was, what's her name? Was
Babbitt.
it Ashley Babbitt?
Yeah.
Ashley Babbitt, who was killed by a Capitol Police officer while she was trying to stop. She's the only person, and they keep saying it over again. And Pastor, it's a flat out lie. It is a fact. It is undisputable fact, and the fact that they can say things like that, right? And
get away with it,
and nothing happened.
Yeah, and then you got Patel there, or anyone else that's on our side. They don't even talk about it.
Yes,
like this is like, dude, come on. Here's your opportunity to actually get the truth out there.
So I'm bringing this up is because this goes along with the story. When I saw this, I was like, oh, wait a minute. That's right. There is an Office of Government Ethics. What are these guys doing, right? So I see. so here at this on the CBS article that says President Trump on Monday removed the Director of Office of Government Ethics, the independent agency responsible for overseeing ethic rules and financial disclosures for the executive branch. Right. So we've just been talking about all this fraud, all this money going to crazy things. Right. And then the things we're bringing up now, the fact that these people can lie. Right. Yeah. So the OGE, the Office of Government Ethics, has been notified that President Trump is removing David. I think it's pronounced Hootma as the director of OGE. The office said in a notice on the site, its website, OGE is reverting to an acting director. So there's going to be an acting director. Hootman was appointed to a 5-year term by former President Joe Biden. He was confirmed by the Senate in November 2024 and sworn in on December 16, 2024. The office website initially listed Shelley Finlayson as the acting director. Finlayson has been at the agency since 2006, serving most recently chief of staff. But Mr. Trump signed a document Monday evening tapping Doug Collins, a Republican former member of Congress and current Department of Veterans Affairs Secretary, to be the acting director of the OGE. Right? Says the move to oust Heitman comes 2 weeks after Mr. Trump fired at least 17 inspectors generals from their roles as watchdogs without explanation, and as Mr. Trump and Elon Musk Department of Doge as task force has upended multiple government agencies. The White House did not immediately respond to the request for comment. I had it up. So I put here, because I looked up what is the Office of Government Agency. So this is what the AI overview says. Oversees the ethics programs for the executive branch of the U.S. government. The OGE's mission is to prevent and resolve conflicts of interest, right? And to ensure the integrity of the executive branch. The executive branch being the presidency, right? Yep. The White House. It says, then it goes on, develops and issues rules and regulations. It says the OGE creates rules and regulations to guide agencies' ethic efforts. These regulations cover the codes of conduct. So in the codes of conduct, is lying allowed? Dude, is lying allowed in the codes? I mean, I don't know. We'd have to look these up. Ethics related to laws and financial disclosure requirements, right? Provides advice and education, reviews financial disclosures, helps with nominations, evaluates conflicts of interest. Let me elaborate on that. It says the OGE evaluates potential conflicts of interest for presidential nominees. So do you guys, I guess, do you guys really believe that the OGE has been doing its job?
No, 100% no.
Right?
I disagree. I mean, 100%. I mean, what I'm looking at here is we already know that there's a deep, the government agencies are all in shambles. We already know that there's people that been, it's called the lame duck, right? The lame duck process. What it does is it leaves all these government officials staying there. I mean, did you guys see over the last week or so, a week and a half ago, we had O'Keefe Media came out and did a video with somebody that worked inside, I believe, the HHS, that said that the reason how they get away with a lot is they come and they come and present themselves to the director like, hey, we're gonna get this done, and all of a sudden they come back to their desk and pretty much do nothing. That is called the lame duck process. And I think that's why it's so important that we have these agencies such as Doge outside of the government to do these, to validate. I mean, in fact, you had them screaming about a week ago saying, we're getting one-on-ones for 15 minutes asking us, what are we doing here? And some of us, they feel poked because they've never been asked these questions for the last 10, 15 years. See, it's business as usual with the federal government. This is what they've been doing. But now that we have this agency coming in here, we have these agencies that are just, for the most part, freaking out.
Yeah. So this Office of Ethics Committee, it just, I don't know. How do you police the police, right?
Yeah.
That's what makes this whole thing so difficult. But it seems like they're supposed to be doing the job of Doge. And the tricky thing is, Doge is a good thing. There should be these audits. But just like everything else, how do you prevent that agency, or let's just call it a group, to not get corrupted eventually?
Right.
You know what I mean?
They're ran by people.
People are people, man.
Yep.
So so that's that, guys. It's just trippy, but yeah. So Pam Bondi issues warning to leakers. So Abel put up the clip here. We got a little clip here from the Citizens Free Press. Actually, it's a Fox News. Immigration enforcement coming soon. So I know I had seen that Tom was pissed off because somebody leaked out an operation in Colorado. I think in Colorado, right? They were going to do some deporting out there in Colorado, and they had to cancel because somebody leaked it, right? So now, hey, fun time's over, guys, because Pam Bondi, she's now been confirmed, and she's not playing. Go ahead and play.
There may be a leak inside the House as it relates to DHS and some of the operations that they are attempting to carry out. What's your reaction to hearing about that, and what, if anything, can be done to mitigate that?
If anyone leaks anything, people don't understand that jeopardizes the lives of our great men and women in law enforcement. And if you leaked it, we will find out who you are, and we will come after you. And it's not going to stop our mission. It's not going to stop the president's mission to make America safe again. We were very clear with the lawsuit that we filed in Chicago that if you don't follow the law, you will be prosecuted by the Department of Justice.
There may be a leak inside.
So this is what we've been wanting, an attorney general who's going to actually do their job. So yeah, hopefully, yeah. I just want. I know it's only been 3 weeks, guys, but I want people to go to jail. I know we got to wait on Cash Patel.
Yeah, me too. I'm waiting for it to just really bust open.
Yeah,
really going after all these people that have just been destroying America methodically and purposely, and and there's going to be them people on both sides of the aisle that are guilty of that.
Yep.
I saw a meme not too long ago. I saw a meme with Doge, right? And it was the dog, right, with the gloves, and he had and on the other side it was two snakes, and one of the snakes was the Democrat Party, and the other one was the Republican Party. So that leads me to believe that, both sides are in the, both sides are doing this. I right now the quietness that I'm seeing from both parties, not the Democrats. The Democrats are out there doing their thing. But the Republican Party knew all this stuff that was happening.
Yeah.
So I for one bit, I don't take it lightly that we have a party that knew this was happening. They knew that this was happening. So, it's shameful that this is happening. But both parties, they're scratching each other's back on this one.
They're guilty.
Yeah, guys. So, but it's okay right now. I'm being patient because Cash isn't there, but I don't know. We'll give Cash. We'll give him 30 days. Maybe 30 days. He's got to move his stuff in, get his desk, all set up.
Yep.
He's got to get his email, all that stuff set up. You got to go. Need a new job, right? You got to go through the whole. Where's the paper clips?
Yep.
Well, how about this? How about we get his desk set up already? Right. Let's get it all set up. Should be happening right now, ready to go. Email already done. I mean, I would hope extension, all that set up, right?
Everything.
Business cards,
Yep.
all that done, so that as soon as he arrives,
his glass jar of Rocky Patel's vintage.
yes.
Oh man, I can't believe, man.
And well, one of the cool things is, was it last week where Pat Bondi said that they were going to release the Epstein list?
Yeah.
She said it. She said it her first day.
They better.
Well,
I mean, it's not like it isn't out there anyways, because back in July of 2016, WikiLeaks dropped it, and so it's already in public. It's already in public. So we already know who's on that list.
That's true. All right, guys. So so that those that listen and think that we're just unlike liberals, this is what the difference is between liberals and conservative people, the MAGA side. With exceptions, you do have your little MAGA sheep, right? That are probably even looking at this Gaza thing like, oh, such a great idea. Trump, he's 3D chess, right?
Yeah.
A 5D chess guy. This is the 5D chess move, right?
Yeah.
No, guys, I'm unlike the left, we're not sheep, and we call it out when it is. I am not excited about this at all, right? So let's play this clip, guys. I mentioned it last time. Trump's on Fox News, and I don't know, man. Well, I still don't, after listening to this, I still don't understand what the heck he's trying to do, right? But let's hit play.
Beautiful communities for the 1.9 million people. We'll build beautiful communities, safe communities. Could be 5, 6, could be 2, but we'll build safe communities a little bit away from where they are, where all of this danger is. In the meantime, I would own this. Think of it as a real estate development for the future. It would be a beautiful piece.
So he says that they will build beautiful buildings. Did he say buildings? And then he said away from where the danger is, right?
How much further can they go away from that danger?
So I don't know where this is. Away can be
I
anything.
know.
It could be anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Okay. Could be anywhere in the world. And then he said, and if I correctly, he said, and we own this.
Yeah.
He said, let's go back a little bit. Let's
And we
go
own this
back
as
a little bit. I just want to make sure
As a real estate development.
there's subtitles here. So let's make sure.
But we'll build safe communities.
Build safe communities.
A little bit away from where they are, where all of this danger is. In the meantime, I would own this. Think of it as a real estate development.
Okay. So he's saying a real estate development. Okay. So this is kind of like, just like when you drive around now and you see new developments being built, new neighborhoods, right? New construction homes. You got the open house, and look, you walk in. Think of it as a real estate transaction, right? And he said neighborhoods away from the danger. So that tells me not in Gaza. Okay. Who's paying for this? So let's play.
For the future. It would be a beautiful piece of land.
Would the Palestinians
no
have
big
the right
money
to return?
spent. No, they wouldn't, because they're going to have much better housing, much better. In other words, I'm talking about building a permanent place for them. Because if they have to return now, it'll be years before you could ever. It's not habitable. It will be years before it could happen. I'm talking about starting to build, and I think I could make a deal with Jordan. I think I could make a deal with Egypt. We give them billions and billions.
So sounds like it's going to be either Jordan or Egypt. Okay. So now that I'm listening to this, he's talking about getting with Jordan and Egypt, and building some new development there to move these people. Well, we know that both these countries don't want these people. Right. So let's hit play.
Millions of dollars a year.
So you're going to watch Brett's interview.
So that's that, guys. This makes no sense. I don't know what the upside is for us. I don't want to spend a dime on this. I don't want I don't want any American interest in Gaza, guys. There is no upside. Okay. This is where I don't understand where Trump sometimes he's not 5D chess, guys.
I think what it is, because a lot of business owners, probably every military mind has read the book from Sun Tzu, The Art of War. And in the Art of War, one of the strategies in there, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but one of the strategies is when you go and conquer a land, then you help rebuild that land, because the people who are there and survive, you want them now to be loyal to you.
But that's not going to happen here.
Well, yeah, but I think that's might be, because when I heard this, my mind went right away back to the art of war.
See, what I'm concerned about, Pastor, is that we build these beautiful resorts,
and it gets all bombed.
And they get one person gets killed, and guess what? Now we have to go, because now
you can't change mindsets.
we have to defend America. Now we would have American interests there.
Yeah.
Right. Whether it's funded by the federal government, whether he says, no, we're not paying for this. We're going to allow private investment to go in.
Yeah.
We're going to allow private. Okay. So Hilton goes in there, and now a bomber goes in there and blows up the Hilton hotel. That is now American interest.
Yeah, and they take away their bomb insurance 2 months before that thing gets blown up.
Right. So now you have, now you have Americans going there to vacation, because they talk about it. It's actually really beautiful. The oceans, the beaches are really nice. But so you achieve all of this, but again, an American gets killed. Now we're at war.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't the heck would we want to have any kind of interest there in the Middle East? I don't want no part of it. No part of it, guys, because it's not worth it. It's not worth. There is no upside for us on this. So that's what I wanted to say about that. I don't know if you guys agree or disagree. I don't get it, but
I think the verdict's still out. We've been warned about getting involved in foreign entanglements and nation building, so it might end up working against us.
Yeah, I'm not with it, guys. So anyhow, guys, that's where we're at. We'll be here. You got anything else, Alfred?
Oh no, I just want to remind everyone that we are here, and I know you're probably, man, a shout out to everybody on X, man, primarily whoever joined, bro. We have people on X joining up and coming back. Also, a huge shout out to people on YouTube that are getting to know. They're getting to know. This is a brand new channel for some of you that are just joined and don't know what is this all about, man. We want to thank everybody on X for just joining us. And also want to thank Pastor Raul, man, for the labor that he's been doing. Going out there, it's a lot of work, man. When you're out there just trying to feed people, especially when you know that things are not going the way they should, right? Now we're hearing these stories that Karen Bass and the cronies, right, are thinking about doing a land grab, because they remember they said that there was no red tape. And all we're seeing over the last 2 months is pure red tape. This is part of their process. This is part of their agenda of 2028. Remember, this is what they want to do. They want to remove these single homes so they can start building apartments, just like in China, and create, right? Or the 15-minute cities. You guys haven't heard about it, man. I heard about it. I'm like, conspiracy theory. But when you're starting to see, the governor bringing down the roof and trying to put red tape all over it, he says that in 9 months, he wants to remove the debris. Think about it. Trump just came in here and said, let them remove it now.
Yeah.
In 2 days, let them all get their own trash bin and let them dump all their stuff. But these people are, but there's metals and there's all this stuff.
There's asbestos.
Asbestos, dude.
Can asbestos survive fire? I mean, doesn't it burn it up?
I did ask that question. I was told that it does survive fire. You want to look that up, Abe? Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. And
asbestos burn.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Asbestos burn. That was good.
Burn. Survive fire. There you go. So yes, it does.
But who knows if they literally change it
exactly?
Last,
I was told it by someone else too, though. So I think it's correct. I think it does survive. I don't know, man. I thought about this a little bit, and I kind of think that it.
But those people who, especially the ones that do have the money, they can hire their own private contractors. There's I have contractors that do that stuff for my clients. So they can hire those type of people to go in there and clean up. They'll be all hazmat out. They know what to do, but they're not allowing them to do it.
Yeah, no, true. They can be allowed. But I guess the only thing I can concede is the gas needs to be turned off, because there's a lot of gas lines that were still. But I don't know.
They're burning out.
But you got to think that that's just something that the city already has done. I don't think.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if that's what she was talking about, because I don't know. How quickly can you shut the gas? Are you able to just hit a knob and shut down a whole neighborhood?
Well,
You know,
I think
how does that? I don't know how that works. Like, you know, but again, it might not be a big deal. The asbestos thing, okay, maybe, but you know, at the end of the day, people, personal responsibility.
Yeah, their own personal
I mean, if
responsibility.
you decide to go in there and expose yourself to it, it's your business.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and if you, like you said, if you can hire professionals to go in there and handle it on your own, that's fine too. Give people the option.
Rick Caruso, I believe, lost a house. I think it might have been his daughter's house, and then because he's one of my clients, and then but one of his houses though, he hired his own private firefighters to go there to defend his home,
Right.
to save it. You know, but so you got people like that could probably go in there right now, you know, to start, you know, doing their own bulldozing and clean it up.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, guys, you know, hopefully, if it's a shame that this is happening here in California, but hopefully, one of the good things that could come out of this is people wake up and we start getting rid of these crazy liberals that are running the state.
I mean, to begin with, I mean, think about it. We're the ones who, I mean, people. I'm not gonna say we, right? Because I didn't vote for these numbskulls, but Californians, this is what you voted for. You know, you voted for, you know, you voted for the freaking fish, the swellfish. I mean, what?
Yeah.
I mean, you voted for, you know, them not clearing out the forestation. You voted for that.
Yep.
So now this is what the doings, and now, yes, my heart aches for those people that are having a hard time dealing with the politicians. But at the same time, I'm like, this is who you voted for. Think about it. The Pacific Palisades, 80% of them voted for, you know, for these people. 80% of them. So this is who you voted for. This is what you get.
Yeah, you get their wacky policies. Like for instance, just in my line of work, we're heavily regulated. Now what we got to do is that we have to get trash bins in our parking lot now, lock and key, because we had a branch in I think they're in Anaheim, where they went into their branch, and they literally they put these tarps down on the floor, and they took everything out of the trash can, and then they start sifting through the trash.
Oh, to dig for stuff.
Yeah, looking for stuff that should not be thrown in there, like batteries, even highlighter markers. You're not just supposed to dispose of them. There's another receptacle that you're supposed to put your highlighter markers.
Oh,
in.
Lord.
It's just so crazy of what they're doing. But you know, that's where you have a government where there's so much overreach. They spent all their money. They're in the red, and now they've got to create these laws to have fines, which is a hidden tax, to go after companies, you know, and have them foot the bill and start fining them.
Yeah. Well, hopefully,
Crazy
once
stuff.
Big Balls is done auditing the federal government,
come out
he
here
come
in
out here and audit California.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Well, yeah, we'll wrap it up, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe to
join us.
our channels here. Share this with your friends. We'll be back here on Monday, 7:00 ish. You know, we have jobs, guys. We have jobs, 9 to 5s, and you know, we live in California too. So,
All
then
that traffic.
we got to deal with traffic. But yeah, guys, 7:00, hit that notification bell and you'll be alerted when we jump on. And yeah, guys, thank you for jumping on and supporting us. And yeah, help us get to the White House, guys. We need 100,000 views to apply and qualify. So if you want to be part of one day, guys, you can look back and say, we got 4 years, right? I would want to be there.
1,441 days.
Yeah, I would want to be there during the Trump administration. And then maybe for JD too, or whoever is next, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But yes, guys,
Maybe it might be Trump again.
Maybe I know for Trump's third term. All right, guys, thanks for joining us, man. Peace out.
Thanks so much, everyone.
God bless.
Take care.